In 1559, John Craig sat in a Roman dungeon, awaiting execution. Then, the Pope died, and a rioting mob smashed the doors. That kind of narrow survival is a recurring theme for Clan Craig. Today, Scots Law classifies them as an Armigerous clan, meaning they possess a verified noble bloodline but operate without a recognized chief to lead them. To understand them, you have to look at the Scottish landscape itself. The name derives directly from the Gaelic word crag, which literally translates to rock or precipitous cliff. That immovable stone is the perfect mirror for a family whose thousand-year survival strategy relied entirely on outlasting hostile forces. The family's earliest ancestors were the ancient Picts of northeastern Scotland. To hold their turf against expanding Gaelic factions, Pictish kings enacted a mandatory dynastic merger. They were required to marry Irish princesses to secure their borders. By the 14th century, the Craigs had integrated into a strict feudal hierarchy in Aberdeenshire. The Earls of Huntly sat at the top as regional magnates, while the Craigs operated beneath them as mid-tier lairds, managing the tenant vassals below. Holding land through regional giants like the Gordons, instead of the crown, kept the Craigs one step removed from volatile royal politics. This mid-tier positioning allowed them to maintain local control while the highest-level nobles were being stripped of their heads and titles in Edinburgh. At the 1335 Battle of Colbleen, John of the Craig led 300 men in a devastating midnight flanking maneuver. Routing the English-backed pretender effectively acted as a hostile takeover. This single military victory cemented the Craigs' position as primary landowners in Aberdeenshire. To hold that newly secured territory, they built Craigston Castle, a formidable defensive tower designed to project their fledgling northern power. A branch of the family later fortified Castle Craig of Auchendore, retrofitting the estate with heavy gun loops to repel relentless attacks from Highland raiders. But maintaining this regional control required brutal tactics. The Gordon Craig faction holding this territory was eventually implicated as accomplices in the cold-blooded, politically explosive murder of the Bonnie Earl of Moray in 1592. These heavy stone walls served as mandatory military defense. In a landscape defined by territory disputes and political assassination, a fortified tower was the only thing keeping the family alive. The arrival of the Protestant Reformation hit the clan like a massive federal crackdown, fracturing their loyalties and destroying their unified front. The Protestant John Craig barely survived the era. After escaping the Roman Inquisition, he fled penniless through Italy, avoiding starvation only because a stray dog allegedly brought him a purse of gold. Back in Scotland, the senior line of the family fiercely maintained their Catholic faith, making them immediate targets for relentless pursuit by newly empowered Presbyterian authorities. The state's penalty was absolute. The government heavily sequestered the Catholic laird's estates, a devastating act of asset forfeiture, and permanently banished the senior leaders to France. Rival armies and Highland raiders couldn't break the clan, but ideological shifts in the government could. Physical fortresses proved completely useless against state-sponsored financial ruin. Realizing the North was lost, the surviving lineage made a strategic relocation. In 1604, they abandoned their volatile Highland borders and purchased the Riccarton estate near Edinburgh, moving directly into the lowlands. Here, Sir Thomas Craig traded warfare for legal scholarship. He authored Jus Feudale, a massive analysis of property rights that became a foundational text for modern Scots law. This intellectual pivot shaped the physical world too. In 1766, architect James Craig won the commission to design Edinburgh's new town, laying out a symmetrical, grid-based masterpiece of Enlightenment urban planning. Meanwhile, Sir James Craig drove aggressive colonial expansion by helping establish the Ulster plantation in Ireland, laying the groundwork for a massive North American diaspora and centuries of future political power. By trading the broadsword for the drafting table, the family moved from the battlefield to the administrative center of the state. They successfully transitioned from regional warlords into the legal and civil engineers of a modernizing Scotland. The Clan Craig crest depicts an armored knight holding a broken lance. Romantic myth claims this symbolizes the clan offering shelter and protection to broken men, fugitives who had lost their own families. But the historical reality is much colder. Sir Thomas Craig simply designed the crest as a calculated PR move to flaunt his newly awarded knighthood at the royal court. Despite outlasting 1,000 years of warfare, religious inquisitions, and exile, the Master Survivor senior line quietly went extinct in 1823, leaving no male heir to carry the name. It makes you wonder what histories are hidden in your own family tree. Is the true heir to the empty Craig throne walking around today, completely unaware of the empire they left behind?